Hello again, friends. Welcome back. I'm Oscar Montes Iga, your host. We're at the Encore Vintage Academia here at the Booze Library, and today you're gonna learn a Sotol cocktail. This is an original cocktail just created for the Agave Spirits Institute. I'm a master of Agave Spirits for the Agave Spirits Institute and a certified wine and spirits instructor for the International Wine and Spirits Guild. And I created this cocktail to share with our students and the curriculum when we're talking about mixology of agave spirits, and I created one with one of my favorite spirits, which is Sotol. So please hit subscribe and like so that you don't miss on the next cocktail or evaluation. Today the cocktail I'm making for you is called Desert Stones, and it is really a play on the terroir where the Sotol is made. So what I'm gonna need for the cocktail is an apricot liqueur, an apricot eau de vie, and a snake-infused Sotol. Either a Sotol that's been infused with snake or a Sotol that's been distilled with snake meat, basically. Other than that, you're gonna need a little bit of specialty bitters, and I'm using Saffron bitters. And also you'll need fresh apricot and a little bit of orgeat. Besides ice, let's get to it. So in my top of the shaker, I'm first gonna combine the orgeat, and I'm gonna really only use half an ounce of orgeat. And if you're wondering what is orgeat, orgeat is a syrup. Used a lot in tiki style cocktails. It's a syrup that has really ancestral traditions. It really kind of originated as a barley infused water, and then of course became a syrup. Today basically orgeat is an infusion of obviously sugar, and then either the base flavoring, which is either almond or apricot kernels, or the blend of the two. You could definitely use almond slash kernel infuse to create orgeat, and you can make homemade orgeat. You can also buy store-bought orgeat. But besides the almond and or apricot kernels, you will also typically find as an ingredient either orange blossom water. Some include a little bit of citric acid, so that could be lemon or lime, most traditionally lemon or orange. And then you could also find orgeats with some sort of alcohol, and most traditional brandy or cognac. So try to stick to a traditional recipe for orgeat. You don't want an orgeat that has high corn fructose syrup or anything like that. Traditionally just cane sugar. And again, most traditional recipes for orgeat have orange blossom water, lemon, brandy, and a mix of both almond and apricot kernel. So find a good quality orgeat. So half an ounce of orgeat. Then I'm gonna top that off with only half an ounce also of apricot liqueur. And I'm using Luxardo apricot or Albicocca, Liqueur de la Lupa from Italy, an apricot eau de vie, and this is from Austria. And you're gonna need 1 ounce of the eau de vie, and eau de vie is really basically a fruit brandy or an unaged fruit brandy, and that's what the spirit is, the water of life. So this is Blue Marianne from Purcat Distillery. Beautiful aromatic, like apricot blossom basically. And the base of the spirit is of course Sotol, 2 ounces of snake Sotol. That is it for the ingredients. Pretty simple. 3 base ingredients plus the orgeat, non-alcoholic ingredient. Before I combine this, with ice, I'm gonna point out we're serving this straight and up. So I've been chilling a coup with, of course, ice and ice water. We'll drop that into a bucket to discard. But also, you're gonna need a fresh apricot. And basically, what I'm gonna do is give it a slice, you know, on the edge. And that's just gonna be reserved for garnish. Next, I'm gonna put ice in my shaker. And onto ice, my wet ingredients: apricot liqueur, apricot eau de vie, snake sotol, and orgeat. And let's give it a shake to wake it up. You can see some little bit of frost already forming. I want to get this as cold as I can for as long as I can, because we're gonna serve this without ice, correct? So we're gonna do a simple strain, and all that shaking also just creates all this nice little foam that you'll present to your guests. To the last drop. And lastly, garnish. So I did I last on the apricot just to let it sit there, hang out. And lastly, I have saffron bitters. And really, you're just gonna garnish with a couple drops of that. Alternatively, I guess if you don't have a fresh apricot at hand, since the apricot wasn't muddled or it's really not a part of the ingredients that go into the cocktail, if you don't have a fresh apricot, feel free to garnish with maybe a thread of saffron flowers. You know, a saffron garnish to give a contrast, a little bit of redness with that pretty pale yellow apricot type cocktail. So I hope you like the video. I hope you try to make this at home, and cheers. Wow, it's refreshing, and it's just very light and airy. It's refreshing. You can taste the sotol. There is an influence of minerality and rusticity, very organic. A lot of, say, like dried hay or palm leaf. So the sotol really comes through. And there is a layer of fruitiness without being any sweet. It's really not a sweet cocktail. I guess if you do have a guest that wants a sweeter cocktail, you can up your game with a little bit of the apricot liqueur and maybe do an ounce of the apricot liqueur and just half an ounce of the eau de vie to give them a little bit more sugar. But this is an aperitif cocktail, so it is meant to be dry, and it's meant to go a standalone drink just to open up the appetite before a meal, you know, cocktail hour. But quite refreshing, and I hope you get to try it. Please comment if you do try it and what your thoughts are. If you don't know much about Sotol, you can watch one of our last videos when we talk about Sotol. And please leave me any comments of what you may want to try next. What would you like to experiment with, whether it's a cocktail or history about any spirit. And I look forward to hearing back from you. Also, let me know any questions you may have about the Agave Spirits Institute. And again, this cocktail was developed for our students and of course for your pleasure. Cheers.